not for you. Don't you dare to congregate, I'm right for you. Plastic faces everywhere, made just for you.
Again, Hollywood Horror Film Club, Ghostface, and Michael Myers Collectors. Thank you for joining me here on the channel again today for another video. Today on this Myers Monday. Today we're going to be reviewing Halloween 1978. But before we start, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps us out in the algorithm. Smash the bell notification to be notified when I upload new videos. Hit the comments below and share these videos with everyone so we can keep making more horror content here on the channel. Alright, so today, like I said, we're going to be reviewing Halloween 1978, the original one, the one that started it all, directed by John Carpenter, and starring Donald Pleasence, Jamie Lee Curtis, Nancy Loomis, PJ Soles, Kyle Richards, a few other people. Those are the main famous ones in the cast that I can remember right now. It's also a screenplay by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. It's a 70s horror classic about a what is it, a spoiler alert here if you haven't seen the movie, which has been out for almost 50 years, but you know, some people haven't seen shit, so just saying spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. Yeah, but it's a movie about a 6-year-old kid. It starts off in 1963 with a 6-year-old kid, POV vision, stalking his sister and her boyfriend, and after, you know, they do the deed, little Michael Myers sneaks up into her room and, you know, stabs her in the tits, and, you know, like they said, Halloween Kills. Yeah, he stabs her, how many times? Like 17, I think. And then he walks out of the house holding the knife, and dad pulls off the mask, and he's discovered by the parents, you know, and we find out that the killer's actually, you know, a 6-year-old kid, which was a shocker at the time when that first came out, you know. The whole steady cam thing, POV of the killer thing, was pretty much revolutionized in Halloween, because at the time, the steady cams were like a new technology thing they were using. It was a brand new thing, so it was pretty trippy seeing who the killer was after the mask is pulled off in the intro and the opening kill of the movie, because no, I don't think anyone expected it to be a child. So yeah, that's where the intro of the movie ends. Michael's caught by his parents, and then he's sent to Smith's Grove Sanitarium for about 15 years, almost 20 years, but yeah, 15 years though. He's under the care of the psychiatrist Dr. Samuel Loomis, which he believes Michael to be, like, you know, pretty much evil incarnate, you know. He wants to keep him locked up at all costs. He tried, but on Halloween, I think, what was it, I think Halloween Eve, 1978, October 30th, he escapes when he's being transferred to another facility so he could go to his trial in the next morning, I guess. It's a rainy night. Somehow he manages to take the security system down from the facility he's at first, when they're picking him up. When they're transferring him, he manages to knock out the security system and lets all the other mental patients run loose and rampant around the facility, causing chaos and confusion. And that's when he sneaks up and steals Loomis's car while he's trying to make a phone call to the inside of the facility, asking, I guess asking to get in, or asking why the patients are running around free. So the nurse Marion Withington, I think that's her name, she's in the car, and then Michael, you know, busts his hand through there, tries to choke her, throws her out of the car, and steals the car, right? Bam. And then her and Loomis are just like in shock right there, you know. Yeah, it's a crazy movie. It's I love this movie. I first saw it when I was a kid back in the 90s. My uncle rented it, dude. I just fell in love with it. Because I also saw Scream maybe like a year or two later, and I happen to feel like the first Halloween and Scream were kind of on par. They were pretty similar. Minus the technology, because the tech wasn't like that in the 70s, you know. But once in the 90s, you know, we had cell phones and stuff. But you do see Michael like get the phone in Halloween '78. He does do that, and there is like a phone call that is made to Laurie by Annie, which it was kind of ghost facey. You know, you kind of felt like it could have been Michael. But yeah, anyway, yeah, this movie's awesome. We cut back to the town of Haddonfield, where the story takes place. I forgot to mention that in the beginning. Yeah, the town takes place in Haddonfield, Illinois. Yeah, so we come back to Haddonfield, Illinois, 15 years later. And now we see a young woman named Laurie Strode, 17 years old, high school student. She's going to school like any regular person, you know. At that time, she's told by her father, who's a real estate agent, to drop off some keys at the old Myers house, because they're gonna go inspect it later. I guess someone's trying to buy it or something. So she does that, and when she does that, she leaves the keys. We see that the Shape, now he's known as the Shape, once he has the costume and mask on, because he's always in the shadows in this movie. It's something I noticed, is that he's always lurking in the shadows, Michael, in the original one. So the Shape, you know, he sees Laurie. He sees her drop the keys off. And as she's walking away, he follows her outside, but she doesn't see him because she has her back turned. But Michael's, you know, watching her from afar, stalking her already. I guess he becomes, in the sequel, they're brother and sister, but in this original one, it's supposedly it's just random people he's stalking. You know, this is random. So yeah, so I guess he like becomes obsessed with her or something, or he decides to play a game of cat and mouse or something. You know, and then he stalks her throughout the day. At school, she sees him through the window. After school, when he stalks her and her friends after school as well, she sees him hiding behind the hedge. And then one of her friends, her friend Annie Brackett, daughter of Sheriff Brackett, goes and checks behind the hedge, and there's no one there, making her think that Laurie's losing, and Laurie probably feeling the same way. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the whole day until the nighttime hits. Laurie is picked up by Annie. She's picked up by Annie at her house, and they're on their way to babysit, because I guess what is it? Laurie is babysitting right across the street from the house Annie's gonna be babysitting. Yeah, you know, she's gonna be babysitting Lindsay Wallace while Laurie's babysitting Tommy Doyle. You know, and so what ends up happening is that Laurie's friends, Linda and Annie, start messing around with their boyfriends, you know, and in typical horror movie fashion, they start getting killed off one by one, you know. Linda, Bob first gets killed. He gets pinned to a wall with some knives because he's hiding in the closet. He's hiding in some closet in the kitchen, and Bob thinks it's Linda or someone else fucking around. And when he's like, come on out, he opens the door and bam, he pins him on the wall and then stabs him to the wall. Linda, he kills her by dressing up as a ghost, making her think that he's Bob. And once the phone rings and she's talking to Laurie again, he comes up behind her and chokes her with the phone cord. Annie gets her throat slashed in the car, which was the most tame kill. It was pretty subtle too. You don't even see blood, you just see her like screech to the side and die. Let me see. Oh yeah, Michael also kills this is off screen though. He also kills the mechanic guy from Phelps' garage, I guess, to steal his jumpsuit. That is shown earlier in the movie when Loomis is making his way to Haddonfield, and he's like around the middle of nowhere type area. Let me see. There's a dead dog in the house that Michael was eating. Sheriff Brackett doesn't really believe Loomis because he doesn't really see any evidence of anything going on. Yeah, so by this time, Laurie goes and checks on Annie and Linda. You know, she goes across the street to Lindsay Wallace's house because that's where she thinks everyone is gathered at. I think she thinks everyone's playing a prank on her, which Michael Myers is, but her friends aren't. Yeah, so like she goes over there and she starts finding the bodies. She finds Linda's body stuffed in a closet. Bob's also in a closet, but he's like tied up upside down and he comes flipping back and forth. Annie, the interesting thing about Annie's body is I guess she's like the representation of Judith Myers because she's there with her nightgown on the bed. And you know, Judith's tombstone right above her. I guess Michael was trying to, like, I guess, what is it, relive that murder, you know, which shows you that the guy is stuck literally at 6 years old. He's literally stuck in the same mentality when he killed his sister, as in an adult body though. He's just reliving the same murder over and over again in his head, committing the same crime in his head, just different person. Yeah, so yeah, Lori gets what is it, she starts breaking down and crying when she finds all the bodies, and she's like going into a fetal position, like in a corner. And that's when Michael comes out of the darkness. You see that white mask looking kind of blue, and he stabs her like right in the back of the arm, and she goes flipping down the balcony. And luckily she's alive. She hits some stairs on the way down too. And like I said, luckily she's alive. She escapes through the kitchen. She locks the door. Michael starts pounding through it, punching through that shit, and then he opens the doorknob. Lori, actually pretty strong too and crazy herself, punches the window. I think she punches it or uses something to smash it. But she opens the door though. It was a glass window, and she goes running towards Tommy's Doyle's house. And then we get that classic scene, you know, with the dun dun dun, with Michael walking really slow and Lori, Tommy, open the door, open the door. That is a classic Halloween scene, man. With the music, and then you see the fall leaves and the wind blowing. It's just so creepy and so scary, dude. The lighting, I love the blue lighting in this movie. It's just something that we don't see in the next Halloween movies. We don't see that replicated until like the flashback and kills again. Yeah, but yeah, Michael gets close to getting Lori, but Tommy Doyle opens the door in time. Lori goes inside and tells the kids, "Do what I say," and tells them to go back in their rooms and lock the door. What I find crazy is that how the hell did she not see Michael Myers like crawl through the window? Because the window was it looked like it was closed at first, but then when you look again, the curtain is kind of pulled to the side a little bit. And I'm just wondering, how did she not hear Michael like crawl through the window? Because I think the power goes out too, if I'm not mistaken. The power goes out, and then that's when Lori grabs that knitting needle, and she crawls down on the floor again. She crouches down by the couch, and that's when Michael comes through from behind the couch and tries to stab her with a butcher knife. But instead, she gets him on the neck. Boom! She plunges it on his neck. He goes back, steps back, pulls it out, and he knocks out on the floor again. She runs up the stairs again. What is it? She tells the kids to get the hell out of the house, and they all go running out of the house. And that's when Loomis sees them finally. Loomis sees the Tommy and Lindsay running out of the house, and obviously you see kids running and screaming from a house. He knows who the hell's in that house. You know, it's obviously Michael's in there. He knows Michael's the boogeyman. So yeah, we get that final altercation with Michael and Lori, where they're before that though, there's the closet scene where Michael starts punching and breaking through the closet where Lori's hiding in. What is it? She gets a clothes hanger, the old school ones, the wire ones, and she pokes him in the eye with it. She also stabs him in the chest or in the stomach with another butcher knife he has, and he knocks out again. And then she sits on the floor again. I don't know why she does this, and she's all scared again, like she's going into another fetal position. That's when you see Michael just rise up again and just turn his head looking at her, and she's slowly standing up to leave. And that's when Michael gets her, and they have that final altercation, like I said right now, and they're right there choking each other and grappling each other, shaking each other. She pulls off the Shape's mask. He looks pissed off as fuck with the fucked up eye. And that's when Loomis is running up the stairs at the same time. And as soon as he puts on the mask, you hear the mask snap back onto him, pow, the rubber, and that's when you hear the first gunshot, bam, and you see that classic shot of Loomis just right there with his gun. Oh, that classic shot of the trench coat, so classic, bro, so classic. And yeah, you see Loomis, the Shape jumps into the next room after he's shot, and he's just standing there looking at Loomis. Loomis again with the gun, another classic shot, bah, bah, and that's when you see Michael just going back and forth, dancing literally until he gets knocked the fuck off the balcony again. Loomis goes and checks off the balcony. He sees him laying. And then, what is it? I think he goes and comforts Lori for a second. And she's like, "Oh, was that the boogeyman?" He's like, "As a matter of fact, that was the boogeyman." Loomis is like, "Hell yeah, that motherfucker was the boogeyman." And then I think he goes back to the balcony and he sees that Michael is gone. Gone, dude. Oh, it's fucking greatest. Oh, man. Halloween and Jurassic Park are probably like, I don't know, maybe like, and throw Terminator 2 in there also. Probably like the best 3 movies in my opinion ever made. But yeah, dude, that was classic. And you just see Loomis looking down, and then he looks up, like, fucking bastard got away, you know? You see Laurie crying, and then the classic Halloween theme kicks in. Dude, beautiful movie. Chef's Kiss, perfect movie, man. Perfect movie, honestly. Honestly, that shit, it's just such a fun movie, man. It was shot so awesome. It utilized great lighting, dude. Like I said earlier, they don't use that kind of lighting in the Halloween movies no more. That blue classic, 70s old school horror movie lighting. Like I said, the closest we got to that again was Halloween Kills. It's a fun movie. It's pretty timeless, man. I always love this movie. The sequels are awesome too. Halloween 2 is great also. But I mean, I feel like the first one is just like, it's just perfect, dude. It's just a perfect movie. It was directed by a great director, written by 2 great writers, Deborah Hill, John Carpenter, rest in peace, Deborah Hill, Jamie Lee Curtis. Like the cast was just, it was all lightning in a bottle. Donald Pleasance, all the actors. It was like everyone at the right place at the right time. It was such a great movie. Nick Castle as the Shape. Also, Tommy Lee Wallace was the Shape. He's the one who stabs Laurie, and he's the one who's punching through the closet door. Apparently, Deborah Hill and John Carpenter played the Shape in some scenes too, but no one's ever really disclosed that. Yeah, dude, it's just an awesome movie. Great watch. Y'all should watch it if you haven't seen it. But if you're here, you probably have. I'm probably gonna start doing these Halloween movie reviews every Myers Monday now, so try to look out for them. Thanks again, Hollywood Horror Film Club, for joining me here on another video today here on the channel on this Myers Monday. Today for the review of Halloween 1978. Like I always say, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps us out in the algorithm. Smash the bell notification, hit the comments below, and share these videos with everyone so we can keep making more horror content here on the channel. And I'll catch y'all next time.